Who do you think you are to think that people should tread carefully around you?
A pro eggshell scatterer.
You possess a deep sense of empathy, a quality that is invaluable in any individual. But your patience is tested when a child seated beside you in the cinema disrupts the movie with their noise. It's not that you dislike children, but rather, the lack of intervention from their parents irritates you deeply. Eventually, there comes a point during the movie where you feel compelled to address the situation. While you know it might be an overreaction, you can't help but speak up, only to regret your decision for the remainder of the day. In today's fast-paced world, it's not uncommon to find oneself easily triggered by various situations, comments, or events. Whether it's a contentious social media post, a disagreement with a colleague, or a personal criticism, many people find themselves reacting strongly and often negatively. But why is it that some individuals seem to be more easily triggered than others? One significant factor contributing to emotional reactivity is past experiences. Traumatic or distressing events from childhood or even adulthood can leave emotional scars that make individuals more sensitive to certain triggers. These triggers can be anything from specific words or phrases to certain types of behavior. In the labyrinth of our memories, there are corners shrouded in shadows, where the echoes of past negative experiences linger like ghosts haunting the corridors of our minds. These experiences, whether rooted in trauma, heartache, or failure, have the power to cast a long shadow over our lives, shaping our perceptions and influencing our actions. For many, the instinctual response to past negative experiences is to bury them deep within the recesses of our minds, hoping to shield ourselves from their sting. As any psychologist will attest, however, repression only serves to magnify the power of these experiences, allowing them to fester and manifest in destructive ways. Instead, true healing necessitates confronting the demons of the past head-on, a process that demands acknowledging the pain they have inflicted and accepting their presence as integral parts of our narrative. Yet, this journey is far from straightforward, often leading individuals to grapple with overwhelming emotions and uncertainties. In the pursuit of resolution, one may find themselves teetering on the precipice of despair, uncertain of the path forward amidst the tumult of inner turmoil. The journey towards emotional well-being necessitates delving into the depths of these unresolved emotions, confronting them with courage and compassion. Failure to do so risks perpetuating a cycle of emotional reactivity, where triggers serve as constant reminders of unresolved pain and turmoil. Without proper resolution, these emotions continue to fester beneath the surface, exerting their influence over daily interactions and responses. The insidious nature of unresolved emotions lies in their ability to masquerade as unrelated phenomena, obscuring the true source of emotional distress. Individuals may find themselves reacting disproportionately to situations that appear inconsequential, unaware that these reactions are merely manifestations of deeper unresolved issues. Thus, the journey towards emotional healing necessitates peeling back the layers of emotional armor, exposing vulnerabilities that have long been shielded from view. In the intricate tapestry of human cognition, cognitive biases weave threads of distortion that subtly shape our perceptions and responses to the world around us. Among these biases, confirmation bias and catastrophizing stand out as potent forces that can significantly influence emotional reactivity. By skewing our interpretations of reality, these biases create fertile ground for heightened emotional responses, perpetuating a cycle of reactivity that can impact our well-being and relationships. Confirmation bias, a tendency to seek out information that confirms pre-existing beliefs or hypotheses while disregarding contradictory evidence, can profoundly impact how individuals perceive and respond to situations. When applied to emotional contexts, this bias can lead individuals to selectively focus on evidence that validates their negative emotions, reinforcing pessimistic outlooks and amplifying emotional reactivity. For example, someone experiencing feelings of insecurity in a social setting may fixate on perceived slights or rejections while overlooking instances of acceptance or affirmation, thereby deepening their emotional distress. Similarly, catastrophizing involves magnifying the significance of perceived threats or negative outcomes, often leading individuals to anticipate the worst possible scenarios. This cognitive distortion can fuel anxiety and escalate emotional responses, as individuals become ensnared in a web of catastrophic thinking. Whether fretting over minor setbacks or envisioning dire consequences for future events, catastrophizing amplifies emotional reactivity by distorting perceptions of risk and probability. Consequently, individuals may find themselves overwhelmed by exaggerated fears and anxieties, unable to discern realistic appraisals of their circumstances. These cognitive biases are not isolated phenomena but often intersect and reinforce each other, exacerbating their combined impact on emotional reactivity. Confirmation bias can fuel catastrophizing by selectively attending to information that validates exaggerated fears or negative expectations, while catastrophizing, in turn, reinforces confirmation bias by magnifying the perceived significance of confirming evidence. This synergistic relationship perpetuates a cycle of distorted thinking and heightened emotional reactivity, trapping individuals in a self-perpetuating cycle of negativity and distress. When individuals find themselves in the grip of high levels of stress and anxiety, the threshold for emotional reactivity becomes markedly lower. Already feeling overwhelmed or on edge, even minor stressors or perceived threats can trigger exaggerated emotional responses, leading to outbursts of anger, frustration, or anxiety. This heightened reactivity stems from the body's innate survival mechanisms, as heightened stress and anxiety levels prime us for fight or flight responses, magnifying our sensitivity to potential dangers in our environment. Chronic stress exacts a toll on the body's ability to regulate emotions effectively, further exacerbating emotional reactivity. Prolonged exposure to stress hormones, such as cortisol, can disrupt neural circuits involved in emotional regulation, rendering individuals more susceptible to intense emotional fluctuations. Over time, this wear and tear on the body's stress response systems can erode resilience, making it increasingly difficult to manage and modulate emotional reactions. The impact of stress and anxiety on emotional reactivity extends beyond mere psychological distress, encompassing a wide range of physiological and behavioral manifestations. Sleep disturbances, fatigue, irritability, and difficulty concentrating are common symptoms experienced by individuals grappling with high levels of stress and anxiety, all of which can contribute to heightened emotional reactivity. Moreover, the cumulative effects of chronic stress on physical health can further compound emotional dysregulation, creating a vicious cycle of distress and dysfunction. In the ever-changing landscape of human emotions, effective coping mechanisms serve as steadfast anchors, guiding individuals through the tumultuous waters of adversity and stress. These essential tools empower individuals to navigate the ebb and flow of emotions with resilience and grace, shielding them from the onslaught of heightened reactivity that can result from unchecked emotional turmoil. Without healthy coping strategies at their disposal, individuals risk being swept away by the overwhelming tide of their emotions, as unaddressed stressors and triggers threaten to destabilize their emotional equilibrium. In the intricate dance between nature and nurture, the environments in which individuals live and work wield considerable influence over their emotional well-being and reactivity. From the confines of our homes to the bustling corridors of our workplaces, and even within the digital realms of cyberspace, the quality of our surroundings can shape our emotional responses in profound ways. Particularly, toxic or high-pressure environments have the potential to amplify stress levels and contribute to heightened emotional reactivity, posing significant challenges to our mental and emotional resilience. Whether at home or in the workplace, toxic environments can be breeding grounds for emotional turmoil and distress. In households marked by conflict, dysfunction, or neglect, individuals may find themselves navigating a minefield of emotional triggers, as tensions simmer beneath the surface, ready to erupt at the slightest provocation. Similarly, in high-pressure work environments characterized by demanding deadlines, interpersonal conflict, or a culture of perfectionism, the constant strain can take a toll on individuals' mental and emotional well-being, fueling heightened reactivity and burnout. The pervasive influence of digital communication, on the other hand, has also introduced a new dimension to the landscape of environmental influences on emotional reactivity. In the realm of social media and online interactions, individuals are exposed to a barrage of stimuli, ranging from inflammatory discourse to cyberbullying and trolling. The constant influx of negative content and virtual conflict can desensitize individuals, eroding their capacity for empathy and making them more susceptible to emotional reactivity in both online and offline contexts. Exposure to chronic negativity or conflict can have insidious effects on individuals' emotional resilience, gradually wearing down their psychological defenses and exacerbating emotional reactivity. Whether through repeated exposure to hostile work environments, toxic relationships, or online echo chambers, individuals may find themselves caught in a cycle of emotional dysregulation, as the cumulative effects of environmental stressors take their toll on their mental and emotional well-being. Lastly, in the intricate interplay of nature and nurture, the biological underpinnings of emotional reactivity serve as a fundamental cornerstone, shaping the way individuals perceive, process, and respond to the world around them. While environmental factors undoubtedly exert significant influence over emotional responses, biological factors, such as genetics and neurochemistry, play a crucial role in predisposing individuals to heightened emotional reactivity. Genetics, the blueprint encoded within our DNA, offers insights into the hereditary component of emotional reactivity. Research suggests that certain genetic variations may predispose individuals to heightened emotional responses, making them more susceptible to stress, anxiety, or mood disorders. For example, variations in genes involved in neurotransmitter signaling pathways, such as serotonin or dopamine receptors, have been linked to differences in emotional regulation and vulnerability to mood disorders. Additionally, genetic factors related to temperament and personality traits, such as neuroticism or sensitivity, can influence an individual's propensity for emotional reactivity. Emotional reactivity is a complex phenomenon influenced by a variety of factors, including past experiences, unresolved emotions, cognitive biases, stress and anxiety, coping mechanisms, environmental factors, and biological factors. By understanding these underlying factors, individuals can begin to identify their triggers and develop strategies for managing their emotional responses more effectively. Whether through therapy, mindfulness practices, or lifestyle changes, it is possible to reduce emotional reactivity and cultivate greater emotional resilience. Next time you encounter a child throwing a tantrum in the cinema, consider adopting a stoic approach and emulating the behavior of the child's parents rather than the child themselves. By remaining composed and following the example set by the parents, you may prevent yourself and others from having a frustrating experience at the movies. Who knows? Maybe some other moviegoers will do what you would have done and have a bad day.